I sit quietly in the secret place of the Most High. In the stillness of my mind, I declare with feeling and certainty I have won the lottery 8 times. I repeat these words, not as a beggar pleading for favor, but as a creator, calmly and deliberately fashioning reality. What I claim inwardly with faith and persistence becomes my outer world. It is not the repetition alone that holds power, it is the feeling stirred within me as I say it. Each time the words leave my lips, they awaken a deeper knowing, a greater conviction that it is already done. I close my eyes and imagine the joy, the wonder, the gratitude that floods my being. I feel the weight of the checks in my hands. I hear the excited conversations. I sense the newness of my life. My senses, though closed to the world without, are alive to the world within. I do not look for evidence in the world of facts. I create the evidence in the workshop of my imagination. Repeating these words, I impress my subconscious mind with the new law that I am the one who wins and wins again. The outer world bends to the inner speech I sustain. I persist even when nothing seems to change, for I know the seed must gestate before the harvest appears. I do not dig it up in doubt. I water it with praise and expectation. I speak it to myself, not to convince the world, but to convince the only one who must believe, myself. I have won the lottery 8 times. I have won the lottery 8 times. Each repetition plants the image deeper until it springs up naturally and effortlessly. It is no different from any other creation. What I accept as true becomes flesh. The riches of the unseen world flow to me now, drawn by the magnetic force of my assumption. I do not strain or struggle. I yield to the certainty of it. I walk as the one who has already received. I talk as the one who already holds the prize. I think from the end, not toward it. In my mind, the celebration has already taken place, the news has already broken, the miracles have already unfolded. I win because I have already won in the depths of my being. I win because I have made the invisible real within myself. I win because I dare to persist when others falter. I win because I have mastered the only true lottery, the lottery of consciousness. What I claim and sustain within must express itself without. It is law, it is truth, it is the way of the awakened soul. I remain faithful to the unseen reality that I have crafted within myself. Though the senses may scream for evidence, though reason may argue and logic may oppose, I stand unwavering. I do not live by appearances. I live by the vision I have conceived and nurtured within. Every word I utter, every feeling I cultivate, weaves itself into the tapestry of my outer life. I have won the lottery 8 times. This is no mere wish, no fleeting hope. It is my truth, my knowing, my experience unfolding from the depth of being into the world of form. Answers that arise to me in the mind's silent moments, when the mind is still and the heart is open. I hear the sound of congratulations, the laughter of joy, the music of fulfilled dreams. I smell the crisp paper of newly printed checks. I see the vivid images of abundance streaming into every corner of my life. I do not simply say the words, I feel them. I breathe life into them. I make them real in the only place that matters, my own consciousness. Every time I repeat, I have won the lottery 8 times. I am not begging some distant power to grant me a favor. I am awakening within myself the power that has always been mine. I am stirring the divine imagination into action. For the universe is not outside of me, it is within me, responding faithfully and perfectly to the patterns I impress upon it. I am not deceived by time. Time is the servant of my assumption. Though in the world of men there may be hours, days, even years between seed and fruit, I know that in the higher law, the moment I claim a thing as mine and live from that reality, it is already accomplished. Delay is only the interval required to prepare the stage of the outer world for the inner decree. I wait with joyous expectation, not with anxious impatience. I know that what I have assumed is already mine in the timeless realm. and shall surely find expression. I do not concern myself with how the path shall unfold. The how is not my work. My work is the claiming, the assuming, the living inwardly from the end. Infinite intelligence, the creative power that brought worlds into being, arranges all things perfectly once I move in faith. I am the cause. The world is the effect. I do not chase effects. I change causes within myself, and the world must obey. The words I repeat are seeds. They carry within them the full blueprint of fulfillment. I do not dig up the seed to check its progress. I trust the process. I know that every repetition, when saturated with feeling, presses the seed deeper into the fertile soil of my subconscious mind, where it must grow and bear fruit. I have won the lottery 8 times. I live from the joy of that truth. I breathe from the confidence of that reality. I move in the certainty of that possession. I am not concerned with appearances. I know that the old must wither as the new takes root. If doubt creeps in, I return gently, without self-condemnation, to the inner speech that is shaping my world. I do not argue with appearances. I do not wrestle with circumstances. I withdraw my attention from what I do not desire, and I lavish my attention upon the feeling of my wish fulfilled. The world without is a mirror, nothing more. It reflects faithfully the beliefs I hold within. If I wish to see a new reflection, I must first change the image I project. I project the image of a man, a woman, who has won the lottery 8 times. I live as that being. I think from that end. I rejoice in that accomplishment. And as surely as night follows day, the world reshapes itself to mirror my inner change. I have trained my inner ear to hear only that which uplifts, only that which confirms my assumption. I do not give voice to fear. I do not speak of obstacles. I do not indulge in conversations that deny my power. Every word, every thought, every feeling must serve the vision I have claimed. Discipline is joy, for it secures the manifestation of my desire. When doubt arises, I do not fight it. I transcend it. I return to the truth. I have won the lottery 8 times. I feel it with all the vividness of imagination. I taste it. I touch it. I live in it. The senses may argue, but I have made my choice. I have chosen to believe in the unseen over the seen, the real over the shadow. It's brilliant. Imagination is the only reality. What I imagine with faith becomes substance. What I persist in assuming must harden into fact. There is no power outside of consciousness. I and my assumption are one. I and my belief are inseparable. As I sustain the inner reality, the outer world must comply. I hold steadfast to the feeling of abundance. I make it my dwelling place. I do not visit it occasionally. I live there permanently. I refuse to allow fleeting emotions to uproot the deep conviction I have planted. I guard my mind as a sacred garden. Only that which serves my vision is allowed to take root. I understand now that reality is malleable. It bends to the consciousness that sustains it. What the world calls luck, I know as law. What the world sees as chance, I see as certainty. I am not tossed by winds of fortune. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Each time I repeat the sacred words, I have won the lottery 8 times. I am tuning my inner vibration to the frequency of abundance. I am aligning myself with the infinite source that knows no lack. I am bathing my consciousness in the light of certainty. I know that money is but one form of energy, and energy responds perfectly to consciousness. I have magnetized wealth to me by the sheer power of my assumption. I need not chase it. I need not strive for it. I attract it naturally, effortlessly, as the sun draws forth the flowers from the earth. I celebrate in advance. I give thanks for what the world has not yet seen, but what I have already received within. Gratitude is the song I sing as I walk through the invisible corridors of fulfilled dreams. I know that gratitude precedes the gift, not merely follows it. I give thanks before the manifestation, and by so doing I hasten its appearance. I live in a state of joyous expectancy. Every moment I feel the thrill of fulfilled desire. Every breath I draw in the fragrance of success. Every heartbeat echoes the rhythm of abundance. I am no longer waiting, I am receiving. I am no longer hoping, I am knowing. The power that brought me this victory is not in the ticket, nor in the numbers, nor in the events of the outer world. It is in me. It has always been in me. It is the creative spirit that slumbers within every man, every woman, waiting only to be awakened by faith and imagination. I have awakened it. I have stirred it into action. I have harnessed it by the deliberate assumption of the wish fulfilled. I walk in dominion over my world because I have mastered the only true battle, the battle within. I rest now, not in idleness, but in confident assurance. The work is done in consciousness. The fruits must appear. I have won the lottery 8 times. I repeat it not to convince, but to affirm, to deepen, to engrave it upon the subconscious mind so deeply that no contrary thought can uproot it. I am persistent in my inner speech. I am tireless in my inner vision. I am unwavering in my inner knowing. I do not measure progress by outer signs. I measure it by the feeling of accomplishment within, and the feeling grows stronger every day, every hour, every moment. I know that as I change within, the world must change without. It is law. It is inevitable. It is unbreakable. The same power that governs the stars, that orders the seasons, that shapes the oceans, responds to the least movement of my conscious assumption. I marvel at the simplicity of the truth. I rejoice in its perfection. I have won the lottery 8 times. It is done. It is finished. It is sealed in the secret place of my heart. The world shall declare it in due season, for the world can only echo what I have shouted in the silence. I continue to dwell in the feeling of success. I continue to rejoice as one who has received. I continue to live from the end, knowing that the bridge of incidents must arise to carry me effortlessly to the fulfillment of my assumption. I trust the unseen hand that guides all things with wisdom beyond comprehension. I trust the divine intelligence that knows exactly how to bring my vision into the light of day. I do not meddle. I do not interfere. I simply remain faithful to the vision. And every morning, every night, every quiet moment, I return to the sacred words. Alive with meaning, vibrant with certainty, I have won the lottery 8 times. I feel it, I see it, I live it, I breathe it, I am it. This is my truth, this is my reality, this is the law of my being. I carry this truth with me wherever I go. It walks with me into every room, it sleeps beside me through every night, it sings in the chambers of my soul. I have won the lottery 8 times. I do not merely say it, I embody it. I let it saturate my mind, my emotions, my entire being, until there is no room for anything else. I do not plead with reality, I command it, by assuming the feeling of my wish fulfilled. I know that assumption persisted in becomes fact. It is not a matter of chance, but of law, immutable, unbreakable, divine. The more I speak these words, the more I feel the power gathering within me. I do not concern myself with outer conditions. I no longer ask when or how. Those questions belong to the old man, the man of doubt, the man of fear. I have put off that old self and clothed myself in a new identity. The man who has already succeeded, the one who has already received. I do not strive to make things happen. I accept that they are already so, and in that acceptance I rest. I move through the world in quiet confidence. I no longer react to appearances. I act from my inner knowing. I am not disturbed by the temporary movements of shadow and light in the outer world. They are the reflection, not the cause. The cause is within me, and it is steadfast. I nurture the feeling of my success as a mother nurtures her child. I guard it from the winds of doubt and the cold of fear. I protect it from the chatter of the world and the noise of circumstance. I know what I have planted, and I know that it must come to harvest. The feeling of fulfillment is my constant companion. I feel the thrill of victory running through my veins. I walk taller, I speak with authority, I radiate the certainty of one who knows his place in the divine order. The world cannot help but yield to the force of my inner conviction. It is drawn to me irresistibly, as surely as the river finds its way to the sea. Every time I say the words, I renew the covenant with myself, I have won the lottery 8 times. I taste the sweetness of success on my lips. I feel the crisp weight of the winnings in my hands. I hear the joyful announcements, the laughter, the astonishment of those who see what my inner vision has already known. I am unmoved by the opinions of others, whether they doubt or believe. My faith is sufficient. My knowing is complete. I have mastered the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I have disciplined my mind to dwell only on that which I desire. I have trained my heart to sing only the songs of victory. I do not entertain lesser thoughts. I do not allow fear to find a home in me. I stand guard at the gates of my mind and allow entry only to those thoughts that serve my highest vision. Every challenge that arises is an opportunity to deepen my faith. Every seeming delay is a chance to strengthen my inner conviction. I do not waver, I do not falter, I press on, knowing that the end is certain because it has already been accomplished within. I persist until the inner reality becomes the outer fact. I am relentless in my assumption. I am unwavering in my belief. I am victorious in my consciousness and therefore victorious in the world. The power that shapes worlds bends itself to my sustained assumption. It is not arrogance to claim what is mine by divine right. It is obedience to the truth of my being. I am not waiting for permission. I am not hoping for luck. I am commanding reality by the authority of consciousness itself. I have won the lottery 8 times, and the world must arrange itself to reflect my inner decree. I trust the creative process completely. I know that the seed contains within it the blueprint of the mighty oak. I know that the spoken word, when charged with feeling and belief, carries within it the full pattern of manifestation. I speak with power, I feel with certainty, I act from faith. I live in the end, and because I live in the end lives in me, and must reveal itself in the world of form. I give no thought to obstacles. I give no energy to doubts. I dwell only on the finished vision. I have already received. I have already accomplished. I have already succeeded. The law is simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live from that state, and all things necessary for the fulfillment of that assumption will flow to you in perfect order. I know that money is but a symbol, a shadow of the true wealth that resides within consciousness itself. By mastering my inner world, I master the outer world. By feeling rich within, I draw riches without. By claiming abundance within, I magnetize abundance without. The world is plastic to my touch. Reality is clay in the hands of the potter that is my imagination. Each day, I immerse myself deeper in the feeling of already having won. I rehearse my triumph in the theater of my mind. I celebrate my victories in the sanctuary of my heart. I give thanks for what is already mine. I bless the unfolding path, knowing that each step is guided by infinite wisdom and love. I do not rush. I do not hurry. I do not doubt. I move in rhythm with divine timing, trusting that all things unfold in perfect season. I have won the lottery 8 times. The joy of it bubbles up from within me. The certainty of it shines from my eyes. The strength of it anchors my every thought, word, and deed. I have made my inner world a garden of fulfilled dreams. I weed out every stray thought of fear or limitation. I water my vision with faith and gratitude. I tend the soil of my mind with love and discipline. I know that as I nurture the unseen, the seen must blossom in beauty and abundance. I am the master of assumption. I am the builder of my fate. I am the creator of my world. Every thought I think, every word I speak, every emotion I nurture is a stone laid in the edifice of my destiny. I build with precision, I build with care, I build with unwavering faith. I have won the lottery 8 times. It is not coming, it is not becoming, it is now, here, real, true. I move through life as one who has received the crown, the prize, the victory. I am humble in my knowing, for I understand that this power is not personal but universal. It flows through all who dare to believe, to assume, to persist. I am no longer at the mercy of appearances. I am no longer tossed by the storms of circumstance. I have anchored myself in the rock of inner certainty. I have moored my soul to the truth of my fulfilled desire. The winds may blow, the tides may rise, but I remain unmoved, for my foundation is the Word made flesh within me. I rejoice in the invisible before it becomes visible. I dance to the music of fulfilled dreams before the world hears the tune. I live in the reality of my assumption before it bursts forth into sight. I am faithful to the unseen, knowing that it is the unseen that gives birth to the seen. I am a living testament to the power of assumption. I am proof of the law fulfilled. I walk as the living embodiment of my inner speech. I have won the lottery 8 times. It is sealed in my heart. It is alive in my soul. It is written in the invisible, and therefore it must manifest in the visible. I need no signs to believe. I believe, and the signs follow. I do not seek proof. I am the proof. I do not demand evidence. I am the evidence. My life is the unfolding revelation of my sustained assumption. I breathe in faith. I breathe out certainty. I live in the atmosphere of fulfilled dreams. I feast on the bread of accomplished desire. I drink from the cup of answered prayers. I walk in the sunlight of realized visions. I have won the lottery 8 times. My mind sings it, my heart beats it, my soul radiates it. It is the atmosphere I move in, the air I breathe, the ground I walk upon. I am one with my assumption. I am one with my fulfilled desire. I am one with the creative power of the universe itself. And so I continue to repeat the words, not out of desperation, but out of joyous recognition of the truth. I have won the lottery 8 times. I have stepped into the life I have imagined. I have claimed my place among the victors. I have awakened to the power within me, and that power is infinite, unstoppable, eternal. I dwell continually in the atmosphere of success. I saturate my being with the feeling of certainty. I let no idle thought lead me astray, for I know the value of disciplined imagination. I have won the lottery 8 times. It is not a future hope, it is my living present. My inner world is so vivid, so alive, that the outer world cannot help but conform to its image. What I see inside with the eyes of spirit, the world must eventually behold with the eyes of flesh. I am steadfast. I do not shift with the tides of popular opinion. I do not seek confirmation from others. I do not require agreement to fortify my belief. My agreement is with the divine power within me, and it is unbreakable. I have made my covenant with fulfillment, and it stands eternal. I have won the lottery 8 times. My claim is righteous, and my faith is the bridge that leads from the unseen to the seen. Every step I take is ordered by the conviction of my assumption. Every choice I make is made from the awareness of my victory. I no longer ask, can it happen? I know it has happened. I no longer question, is it possible? I know it is finished. The completed end is the beginning of all my thoughts. I act from the mountaintop, not from the valley. I speak from the fulfillment, not from the yearning. I breathe in the air of certainty. I walk in the fields of accomplishment. I swim in the oceans of abundance. Everywhere I look within, I see the shining evidence of my fulfilled desire. My imagination is not a place of idle dreams. It is the workshop of reality itself. What I fashion there, with faith and feeling, must take form in the world of experience. Now that life is not happening to me, it is happening through me. I am the operant power. I am the living witness of the creative force in motion. As I sustain the vision within, the vision sustains me without. I no longer lean on the crutch of circumstance. I lean on the everlasting arms of imagination and faith. I have won the lottery 8 times, and that truth holds me steady in the midst of all appearances to the contrary. Each repetition of these words chisels the truth deeper into the bedrock of my being. I have won the lottery 8 times. I do not simply wish it, I assume it. I do not merely hope it, I know it. This assumption draws into my world all things necessary for its fulfillment. People, events, circumstances, ideas, all flow to me effortlessly, perfectly, inevitably. I do not chase outcomes, I do not struggle against the tide, I flow with the current of my conviction. I rest in the assurance that what I have accepted within must unfold without. The law cannot be broken. The creative word cannot return void. My assumption is the word spoken, and the world must obey its command. I have mastered the inner conversation. I hear only the words of accomplishment. I speak only the words of fulfillment. I silence the voices of fear and doubt with the roaring affirmation of my success. I have won the lottery 8 times. Every cell of my body vibrates with this truth. Every fiber of my being resonates with this knowing. There is no power outside of my consciousness. There is no force greater than my assumption. The world is but a mirror, and I have changed the face I present to it. I have seen myself victorious, abundant, joyous, fulfilled, and the mirror must now show that image. It is not a matter of if, but when, and even the when is certain, for I live in the end and know that all things are now unfolding perfectly. I understand the sacred rhythm of creation. I know the cycles of seed, time, and harvest. I am patient, not because I lack faith, but because my faith is complete. I do not dig up the seed in anxiety. I water it with assurance. I nourish it with gratitude. I bask in the certainty of its growth. The harvest is guaranteed. I have transcended the realm of appearances. I no longer respond to the outer world with fear or doubt. I act upon the inner world with faith and joy. My reactions are rooted in the reality I have chosen within, not the circumstances that present themselves without. I am no longer a slave to appearances. I am the master of assumption. I celebrate in the secret place. I dance in the chambers of my heart. I rejoice in the unseen fields of victory. I know that what is sown in the invisible shall be reaped in the visible. I am steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of assumption. I have won the lottery 8 times, and no power on earth can take this truth from me. Every word I speak is a living seed. Every thought I think is a blueprint for creation. Every feeling I nurture is a call to the unseen forces of life to take shape and form. I speak life, I think abundance, I feel fulfillment. My whole being is aligned with the reality of my success. Written, I am the author of my destiny. I write with the ink of imagination and the pen of feeling. I script the story of my life with deliberate joy. I do not hand the pen to circumstances, to others, to fears. I hold it firmly in my own hand, and I write the story of a life overflowing with abundance, joy, and accomplishment. I live from the wish fulfilled. I do not visit it as a traveler, I reside in it as a citizen. I have taken up permanent habitation in the land of answered prayers. I wake each day with gratitude for what already is. I walk each moment in the assurance of possession. I have trained my inner eyes to see what the outer eyes cannot yet behold. I have tuned my inner ears to hear the song of fulfillment before it is sung in the world. I have conditioned my heart to feel the triumph before the world declares it. I have aligned my entire being with the end I have chosen. Nothing can deter me, no setback can move me, no delay can discourage me. I have seen the end, and it is glorious. I have seen the end, and it is certain. I have seen the end, and it is mine. The repetition of my sacred decree deepens the channel through which the power of creation flows. I have won the lottery 8 times. I feel it deeper each time I say it. I embody it more fully with every breath. I claim it more powerfully with every heartbeat. I am not seeking a miracle, I am living a miracle. I am not waiting for the extraordinary, I am the extraordinary made manifest. I am not hoping for a sign, I am the sign. I live in the vibration of answered prayer. I move in the frequency of fulfilled dreams. I dwell in the state of accomplished desire. The world must reflect back to me what I have sustained within. I rest in the assurance of divine faithfulness. I trust the creative process implicitly. I know that what I have assumed is marching toward me with the certainty of the rising sun. Every breath I take brings me closer to the full manifestation of what I already possess within. I do not chase signs, but signs follow me. I do not seek validation, but validation springs up all around me. I do not demand proof, for I am the proof of the power of assumption. I walk as one who has received. I talk as one who has received. I think as one who has received. I feel as one who has received. I live in the atmosphere of fulfilled dreams. I have won the lottery 8 times. It is not a distant hope, but a living reality. It is not a wish, but a certainty. It is not a dream, but a fact. And I live in it now, fully, joyfully, completely. I have mastered the secret place of the Most High within myself. I have entered the holy sanctuary of fulfilled desire. I have touched the eternal, and the eternal has touched me. My imagination is the womb of creation. My feeling is the power that breathes life into form. My assumption is the hand that shapes destiny. I am faithful to the unseen. I am loyal to the vision. I am steadfast in my belief, and the world must conform to the decree of the heart that believes without wavering. I have won the lottery 8 times. I have assumed it. I have lived it, I have breathed it, I have become it. And because I am it, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over in perfect and magnificent fulfillment. And so I stand here, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. I rest in the fullness of my assumption, unshaken, undisturbed, unwavering. I have won the lottery 8 times, and this truth echoes through every chamber of my being. I have claimed it, I have lived it, and now I witness it. The power that formed the worlds answers to my sustained feeling of fulfillment. I need not strive, I need only to be. For in the being, all is done. In the knowing, all is accomplished. In the feeling, all is fulfilled. Your time is now. Not tomorrow, not when the circumstances align, not when they approve or when the world makes room for you. Now, this present moment is the only moment that holds power. Everything that ever was and ever will be lives inside this now and within you. You have been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for a sign, for a shift, for permission. But I tell you, the sign is not coming. You are the sign. You are the shift. You are the permission you seek. All that you desire, you already possess, if only you would dare to assume it. The only distance between you and your highest life is the distance between belief and realization. The instant you accept your desire as already fulfilled, it is yours. Do not look outside for evidence. Evidence will lie to you. The senses will whisper of delay, of impossibility, of lack. But imagination speaks of truth, and truth does not wait for facts. It creates them. You are not meant to sit and hope. You are meant to enter the state of the wish fulfilled, to become the one who already is, the one who already has. Let go of becoming as something far off. Instead, become in consciousness now. What you are conscious of being, you outpicture in your world. If you are conscious of lack, lack will find you. If you are conscious of abundance, it will rush to you. The outer is always the servant of the inner. The world reflects your inner speech, your silent assumptions, your daily imaginal acts. So dare to feel now what you would feel if all were already accomplished. Dare to walk in the state as if it were already so. You do not need more time. Time is not your master. You are not preparing for your future. You are calling it into the present. And what you persist in imagining, what you claim with feeling, must externalize. So stop waiting. Waiting implies separation. Waiting delays the miracle. Start being now. Now become the version of yourself who is no longer in hope, but in possession. Feel it real, and the world will conform. This is not magic. It is law. What you consent to inwardly must express outwardly. It cannot fail. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and trust the unseen hand to bring about its perfect unfolding. All things are yours when you stop postponing your own power. Your time is not coming. Your time is. It is here. It is now. And you are the one you've been waiting for. There is nothing to earn, no worthiness to acquire. You have always been worthy. The delay has never been in the giving, but in your receiving. Your hesitation to believe has clothed itself in time, in waiting, in preparation. But now strip all of that away and step into your divine inheritance. You do not need more lessons, more confirmations, more delays dressed up as development. What you need is recognition. Recognition of who you already are. You were told the kingdom is within you. Not in the stars, not in the opinions of others, not in some far-off day when conditions are ideal. The kingdom is consciousness. And when you turn within and claim it, the world outside rearranges itself in obedience to that inner decree. No man can keep from you what you have accepted within. No system can deny what you have embodied. For reality bends to the one who dares to believe. For is given unto the imagination. You imagine morning and you rise. You imagine hunger and you act. You imagine limitation and it becomes a war. Likewise, you imagine freedom and the chains fall away. You are not bound by anything but your own consent. You can change the entire script of your life simply by withdrawing attention from what is and placing full focus on what you choose to be. This is not pretending in the weak sense. It is not make-believe. It is creation. You are not wishing for something. You are assuming it is already so. And in that assumption lies transformation. When you feel yourself to be wealthy, to be loved, to be whole, the world is compelled to reflect it. It must, for the world is not separate from you. It is your mirror, your shadow, your echo. But how long will you live in denial of this truth? How long will you defer your becoming to a future that never arrives? There is no power in delay. Power lives in decision, in conviction, in the quiet but steady assumption that it is done. Not will be done, not may be done, done. Final, settled, complete. You reflect. You have perhaps waited for a feeling, a sign of readiness. but the feeling you wait for is born from the assumption not before it. When you decide that you are now the one who has, the one who is, the feeling will follow, just as light follows the flipping of a switch. But if you wait for the light to arrive before you act, you remain in darkness. Do not seek to manipulate the outer world. It is clay in your hands. Shape it inwardly. All change begins within. You do not rise by changing people or conditions or events. You rise by changing state, and your state is governed by what you accept as true about yourself. Accept a higher truth, claim a greater identity, assume a richer story, and live from it, not toward it, from it. Every desire you feel is a whisper from your higher self, a call to rise to a new state of being. You are not chasing desires, you are being summoned by them. Each longing is an invitation to awaken, to remember what is already yours. That thing you want is not outside of you, it is already part of you in consciousness. And consciousness is the only true substance of reality. When you identify with your desire, you fuse with it. When you think from it, not of it, you activate its expression. Your role is not to strive or to struggle, but to embody, to imagine so vividly and consistently that the imaginal becomes inevitable. Your world outpictures what you persistently accept in your inner conversations. What are you saying to yourself when no one is listening? That is your prayer. That is your decree. You rise not by waiting, but by identifying, by selecting the version of you that already lives the life you long for and wearing it like a garment. Feel it wrap around you. Let it become familiar and persist until it becomes second nature. Then, what the world calls miracles will simply become your norm. All transformation is self-transformation. You can only experience what you are in harmony with. This is not punishment or reward, it is law. And you have been given full authority to choose your harmony, your alignment, your identity. Stop asking if you're ready. You are, you always have been. The only readiness you need is the willingness to step in, to believe, to claim. The world does not respond to need, it responds to conviction. You must know that you are the one, that you are chosen, not by fate, not by chance, but by consciousness itself. The moment you know, all things move in accordance. It will look like coincidence, like fortune, like magic, but it is none of those. It is the law playing out with mathematical precision. Time will try to convince you that you're not there yet, but time is a servant, not a master. And you are not bound by the timeline you inherited or the pace others choose. You can collapse time by assumption, by seeing the end and living from it now. The end is where you begin. The end is your launching point. Begin at the fulfilled desire and work backward only in imagination. When you dare to declare it done in consciousness, the physical will catch up, not because you forced it, but because you became it. You are always becoming something. The question is, are you becoming by default or by design? Are you reacting to appearances or are you creating from within? Choose this day who you shall be. You do not need conditions to change before you assume the new state. The new state causes the conditions to change. Do not be fooled by appearances. They are shadows of your past consciousness. If you want to know what you've been assuming, look around. But if you want to know what will be, look within. The seeds you plant today in imagination will become your harvest tomorrow in form. Stop waiting for the door to open. You are the door. When you walk as though it is done, the path reveals itself. The people show up, the opportunities arise, but not before you move in faith. Faith is not hoping. Faith is the bold inner knowing that what you have imagined is more real than what you see. Be Smith to yourself from the end. Let your inner dialogue match the life you are choosing. Talk to yourself as one who already is. I am, not I will be. I have, not I hope. Let every thought and word be soaked in the vibration of fulfillment. That is the great secret. To feel it real, to feel from it, not for it. You are not striving to become something better. You are awakening to what has always been true. Beneath every limitation, every delay, every doubt, there is the truth of who you are. And who you are is powerful beyond measure. Not someday, now. You are the creator of your world, and your world is waiting on your recognition. Walk as if the thing is done, and the world will bend. Think as the version of you who already has it, and everything will rearrange itself to reflect that inner shift. Don't look to the clock. Don't count the days. Count only your assumptions. Track only your states. It is not about time. It is about alignment. There is nothing to strive for when you know it is already yours. You need only walk in the confidence of fulfillment. You need only persist in the assumption. And every bridge will appear. Every so-called coincidence will line up in perfect order. There is no delay in the realm of the spirit, only the illusion of delay created by disbelief. So let go. Let go of the old self, the one who waits, who begs, who hopes. That self has no power. Step into the I am, the God within, the one who chooses and knows it is done. That self walks with certainty, speaks with authority, lives from the end. And as you sustain that self, the old must fall away. It cannot stay. Daoni. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. If you want something new, you must become someone new. Not through effort, but through identity. Through this silent assumption again and again until it becomes automatic, natural, effortless. That is the way. This moment is your door. This breath, this thought, this choice now is the axis point of all reality. Nothing is holding you back but the story you are telling. Change the story and the world changes with it. Speak it, feel it, own it, become it. Now, you have spent long enough studying the path, long enough analyzing the how, the when, the sequence of events. But the map you are searching for is not written in external lines or plotted with visible coordinates. It is etched in your own being. The way is made by walking in the assumption of the fulfilled desire. The way reveals itself to the one who moves in inner certainty, who no longer asks, how will it come, but declares, it is already mine. Do not let your five senses rule your life. They are servants, not sovereigns. They report what has already been imagined and accepted in the past. But they cannot testify to what is being conceived now, in this sacred moment. What you see, hear, and touch is the echo, not the cause. The cause lies in the unseen, in the imaginal act, in the sustained feeling that what you desire is already your reality. That is the truth that sets you free. You are not sent here to react. You are sent to create. You are not made to live by appearances, but by inner conviction. Reality responds to the one who knows, not the one who pleads, who begs, who waits for confirmation, but to the one who claims their end as now, who inhabits the feeling, who moves, speaks, and breathes, as one who already possesses the thing. Nothing is outside of you. All that you call outside is a projection, a reflection, a mirror of your state of consciousness. Change your concept of self, and your entire world will rearrange itself to match. It does not matter what has been. It does not matter what others say. Their voices hold no power over the one who walks in inner authority. Let them speak. Let the facts scream their protest. Let the evidence contradict you. And still, you persist. You hold your inner vision as law. That is faith. That is power. There is no merit in delay. There is no virtue in struggle. You are not made to climb and crawl and strain to receive what is already yours. The Father has already given it. It is yours for the taking. You need only claim it, not with effort but with knowing. It is not about earning, it is about accepting. not about striving, but resting in the conviction that what you imagine with feeling is your true inheritance. If you believe you must wait, then you create the experience of waiting. If you believe it is hard, then difficulty will greet you at every turn. But if you believe it is done, if you feel that truth and walk in it, then the universe must mirror that belief back to you. It is not a question of if, but when you will allow yourself to receive. Stop delaying your own arrival. Stop postponing your own greatness. There is no outside force holding you back. There is only the identity you continue to wear. And identities are chosen, not imposed. Choose now to wear the new self, to identify with the version of you who no longer waits, who no longer hopes, but who knows. And from that knowing, all things come. You may ask, but what if I imagine and nothing happens? Then I ask you, what are you imagining after that first act? Are you remaining in the end, or are you wavering? Are you rehearsing the new story, or are you defaulting back to the old? Do not just touch the state, abide in it, dwell in it, let it possess you. Let it become your natural home, and as surely as night follows day, the outer world will conform. Persistence is the key, not frantic repetition, but quiet conviction. A calm, sustained inner certainty that overrides the noise of delay. Be still inwardly. Stop arguing with appearances, they are temporary. The eternal thing is your assumption. If you would dwell in the state of the fulfilled desire long enough, the outer must bow. The bridge of incidents will appear, the pieces will come together, and it will feel as though life is conspiring in your favor, because it is. You need not know the sequence, you need not figure out the steps. Imagination is the architect, life is the builder. You see the end, you dwell in it, you feel the joy, the peace, the confidence of having already received. And then you trust, not with anxiety, but with certainty. You know who you are, and who you are is one with the source of all things. You have waited for the world to give you a sign, but the world waits on you. You have stood at the edge of becoming, hesitant, asking whether the time is right, but there is no other time. This is it. Now is always the appointed hour. Now is the doorway to every possibility, and you enter not with effort, but with assumption, with bold inner agreement that what you have seen within must appear without. Do not consult the past to determine what is possible. The past is not prophecy, it is a reflection of who you were. But you are not bound to remain that version. You are free to shift, to select, to become. And as you do, the future bends to meet you in your new form. You are not the product of your history, you are the product of your imagination. And your imagination is limitless. There are no degrees of difficulty in this law. It is as easy to imagine a castle as a cup of water. The law does not distinguish. It only asks, do you believe? Are you willing to feel it as real now? Are you willing to release your grasp on the visible and embrace the invisible with greater trust than you've ever given to anything before? That is the path. That is the way. When you shift your attention from what is to what you choose, you shift your state. And when you dwell in a new state, you become a new version of yourself. And that self lives in a different world. You think it's the same earth, the same space, the same life, but it is not. It is a parallel reality, called forth by your assumption, governed by your conviction, made manifest by your feeling. Others will not understand. They will ask how you did it. They will call it luck, fate, divine intervention. Let them. Your task is not to convince the world. Your task is to be the proof, to live so fully in your new identity that the old dissolves behind you like smoke, to become so stable in your assumption that no doubt, no delay, no contradiction can uproot you. And when you see the shift, when the outer begins to match the inner, do not marvel, do not be surprised. Simply say, of course. Of course the world changed. Of course the people responded. Of course the thing came to pass. because I accepted it within, because I saw, felt it, lived it, believed it, believed it. Before a single thing moved outside me. For you are not discovering your destiny, you are creating it. You are not waiting for the stars to align. You are the one aligning them by the power of your inner state. Let that knowing settle into your bones. Let it become your breath, your step, your word. Let it guide you in silence when the noise of doubt gets loud. Let it lead you when the way seems unclear. You are not walking in the dark. You are walking in the light of your own becoming. And that becoming does not happen someday. It happens now. This moment is the seed of every future you can imagine. Plant it wisely. Plant it deliberately. Plant it with faith. And water it with repetition, with inner vision, with gratitude for what is already yours in spirit. If you will only hold the vision, the path will appear. If you will only assume the state, the form will follow. If you will only stop waiting and start being, you will see how quickly the world responds. Because it is not the world that needs to change. It is you. And when you do, everything else must. You are standing at the edge of infinite possibility, and still the old voice tries to reason with you. It says, wait a little longer, be realistic, prepare more, ask again, but you must silence it now. That voice is the echo of an identity that no longer serves you. It speaks from memory, not truth. It speaks from fear, not power. And your power does not reside in hesitating. It resides in your decision. You become by deciding, you shift by accepting, you manifest by surrendering, not to the world, but to the unseen reality that burns bright within you. When you feel yourself into the new state, when you think from the fulfillment, not toward it, then all things begin to take their rightful place around you, not because you demanded the world to change, but because you finally changed your center. So let the outer world argue, let the facts try to prove you wrong, let circumstances attempt to hold you back. They are only the residue of past belief, the shell of an old reality that is no longer alive unless you choose to reanimate it with attention. What you feed with awareness grows. What you ignore dissolves. You must now stop watering what you no longer wish to harvest. You do not need to overcome the world. You need only overcome your own doubt. You do not need to fix what is out there. You need only revise what you have accepted in here. The within rules the without. The invisible births the visible. Consciousness shapes form. Every time, without exception. There is no power outside of you that can determine your path without your consent. You may not have chosen every experience, but you are always choosing your interpretation of it. And in that interpretation lies the key to transformation. Do you see delay or do you see preparation? Do you see rejection or do you see redirection? Do you see failure or do you see feedback? The lens you wear is the life you live. If you would change your world, you must first change your stance toward it. Stop waiting for the world to become what you desire. Let your inner world become it first, and the outer will follow like a shadow. Nothing moves in your experience unless you first move in consciousness. Everything is drawn to you by the vibration of your assumption. When you declare, I am, you are making the most powerful statement a being can make. You are not describing yourself, you are creating yourself. And the universe rushes to fill in the details. Whatever follows, I am, becomes the blueprint for your experience. Say it wisely, say it boldly, say it as one who understands the weight of that power. I am ready. I am chosen. I am successful. I am loved. I am wealthy. I am whole. These are not empty affirmations, they are creative acts. Spoken with conviction, imagined with feeling, they are the seeds of worlds. Plant them again and again, and do not dig them up with doubt. Do not cancel them out with contradiction. Let them live, let them grow, let them become flesh. There is no virtue in waiting when you have already been given the power to become. Waiting is a symptom of disconnection from truth. It is a delay caused by the belief that something outside must happen before you can act. But all action begins within, and when you move inwardly, when you claim, accept, and feel the truth of your desire, the universe begins to move on your behalf. You do not need to see the whole staircase, you need only to dwell at the top. Feel yourself there, sit in the completion, breathe in the atmosphere of the fulfilled state. Live there in imagination until it becomes more real than what your senses tell you, because the senses only confirm what you previously believed. But the imagination creates what you now believe. Your senses are not authorities, they are reporters. Do not wait for their confirmation before you choose to believe. Choose to believe, and then let the senses catch up, and they will, they always do. For the world is an obedient servant to the master of consciousness. Whatever you embody, you externalize. And whatever you persist in feeling as true must come into form. This is the key. Not the forceful wishing, not the anxious effort, but the quiet, persistent assumption, the feeling that what you desire is already yours, that you are already the one you seek to become, that you are not journeying toward it, you are journeying from it. And from that state, everything flows. You do not change your life by doing more, you change your life by being more, being differently, being consciously. What are you being in your imagination each day? That is your true prayer, that is your secret temple, that is your creative center. Enter it often, dwell in it deliberately, do not visit the state of your desire, move in, let it be your dwelling place. You are not defined by your current circumstances unless you agree to be. You are not shaped by the facts unless you yield to them. You are shaped by what you accept as true in your own heart. And truth in this law is not what the world tells you. Truth is what you decree in imagination with conviction. That is what the world will echo. That is what must become flesh. So stop postponing the miracle of your own becoming. Stop consulting doubt. Stop rehearsing limitation. You are not here to survive by default. You are here to create by design. Begin now. Begin not with effort, but with decision. Choose now to see yourself as already there, already living it. Let the vision possess you so completely that no evidence to the contrary can shake you. Let your inner speech reflect your new identity. Speak to yourself as the one who already is. Let your thoughts form the atmosphere of the fulfilled state. Let your inner world overflow with conviction until it spills into the outer in perfect form. You are the seed, the soil, the sun, the rain. You are the entire process of becoming. And you are never more powerful than when you stop waiting and start living from the end. That is the secret. That is the law. That is the invitation, eternal and ever present. The time is now. There is no more waiting, no more hoping, no more wishing. You have everything you need within you to create the life you desire. The only thing standing between you and your fulfillment is the choice to believe in your own power, to step fully into the person you are destined to become, and to walk in the certainty of that truth. You are not here by accident. You are not waiting for something outside of you to change. The change is already within you. It has always been there. It is time to stop looking for approval from the world and start creating from within. So, stand in your truth, claim your vision, and walk boldly in the assumption that it is already done. The universe will respond, and the world will shift to reflect the state you have already assumed. You are the creator, the author of your story, the master of your fate. The power to become is yours. The time to begin is now. Stop waiting, start becoming. You were not born to be average. No, you were born to create, to command, to assume the throne of your reality. The world you see, the circumstances you face, the limits that seem to bind you, they are shadows cast by forgotten truths. You are not here to obey appearances, you are here to awaken. Within you now is the creative power that forms the stars. There is no power outside of you that shapes your life. Everything begins with your inner state, your assumption, your self-concept. You are not waiting on the world to change, you are waiting on yourself to remember. And the moment you do, the outer must bend. Do not accept the verdicts of the world. Do not bow to statistics, traditions, or the opinions of others. What you are within, you express without. You do not rise by effort alone, you rise by consciousness. Assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled and walk in that inner knowing, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect your conviction. Every time you say, I am, you set the course of your life. I am worthy. I am chosen. I am powerful. Say it not to convince the world, but to awaken yourself. You are not trying to get something out there. You are claiming what has always been yours. You are the operant power, and the world echoes what you are conscious of being. There is no honor in shrinking back to fit the mold of mediocrity. That is not humility. That is amnesia. You have forgotten the truth of your being. But now let the veil be torn. Let the sleeping giant within you rise. You are not a beggar at the gate. You are the gatekeeper, the one who decides what enters and what exits your reality. When you feel the pull of a dream, a vision, a life beyond logic, that is your soul remembering its power. That is not fantasy, that is prophecy. It is the echo of a reality that already exists, waiting for your assumption. You are not here to wish, you are here to embody. You are not here to chase, you are here to declare. So awaken, not tomorrow, now. The moment you change your inner talking, the moment you dwell in the wish fulfilled, the moment you feel it real, the process begins. Do not ask how. That is not your concern. Your work is to be it in imagination and let the unseen currents carry you to its expression. The world will call it coincidence, luck, even delusion, but you will know. You will smile in the silence, knowing that you have remembered. You have stepped into the authority that has always been yours. And now you no longer hope. You know. You assume. You create. And so you begin, not by striving, not by begging, but by being. You do not need to prove your worth to the world. You need only to know it. And that knowing becomes law. The outer man may look around and see barriers, delays, and detours, but the inner man, the one who commands reality, looks within and chooses a state, and the world obeys. There is no power outside your own consciousness. That which you are conscious of being, you become. The law is perfect. It does not ask whether you are deserving, ready, or logical. It responds to your assumption without question or hesitation. You may look at your present circumstances and feel tempted to define yourself by them, but the moment you do, you imprison yourself. The moment you say, this is just the way it is, you cast yourself in a role that was never yours to play. You were not born to be a spectator in your own life. You were born to rule from within. Nothing changes on the outside until you change within. You do not fix the world by manipulating the world. You fix the world by altering your state. If you feel lack, assume abundance. If you feel unseen, assume visibility. If you feel broken, assume wholeness. Do not wait for evidence, do not seek signs. The sign is your desire, the confirmation is your imagination. If you have imagined it, it is done. The world will tell you to be practical. It will warn you to be realistic. But what it calls real is only the outpictured shadow of your former state. You are not bound to repeat it. You are not here to walk in circles, to live on repeat. to echo the patterns of your past. You are here to awaken to your divine authorship. You are the scriptwriter, the director, and the actor of your own unfolding life. When you dare to assume something higher, something greater than your past, you will feel resistance, not from the world, but from within. The old self will rise up to defend its survival. It will speak in the voice of fear, doubt, logic, and habit. Do not listen. You are not that voice. You are the awareness that hears it. And that awareness can choose a new voice, a new identity, a new end. When you assume your ideal state, do so with finality. Do not touch it lightly and then return to the old. Immerse yourself in it. Walk as if it were true. Think from it. Speak from it. Feel from it. The bridge of incidents will unfold, and your outer world will conform to your inner choice. It must. This is law. You are not a victim of chance. You are not subject to the winds of fate. You are the chooser. The moment you say, I am, you claim a state, and the state you dwell in becomes the world you experience. You are not manifesting things, you are manifesting states, and every state already exists. You do not create them, you choose them. When you understand this, you no longer fight the old, you simply abandon it. You turn your attention away from what you no longer choose to be. You do not argue with it, you do not try to fix it, you simply leave it behind and enter a new state. This is not about force, it is about attention. Where your attention goes, your reality flows. You may say, but I don't feel it yet. That does not matter. Feeling will follow focus. Assume the new state boldly. Persist in it. Let it saturate your thoughts, your speech, your reactions. If you fall back, return. If the old state pulls at you, ignore its cries. The old must die for the new to live. And the death of the old is not some dramatic event. It is simply the withdrawal of your attention. You are always becoming what you are conscious of being. So become something greater. Become the one who walks in certainty. Become the one who sees beyond appearances. Become the one who knows that the world is a mirror, and the reflection will change the moment you do. The moment you dare to believe that you are more than your past, more than your mistakes, more than your current conditions, you rise. And as you rise in consciousness, you rise in experience. There is no other way. It does not matter who you were yesterday. It does not matter what others have said about you. Their words are powerless unless you accept them. You were not born to fit in. You were not born to survive. You were born to create, to awaken, to reveal. The power within you is not new. It is eternal. But it has waited for your recognition. And now that you know, you can never again pretend to be powerless. You may ignore it, you may resist it, but you cannot unknow it. Every dream you have is already fulfilled. You do not need to get it. You need to align with it. That which you desire is already finished in the unseen. And your work is to live in the end, to dwell in the state where it is already done. Do not worry about the middle. Do not concern yourself with the how. Your only job is to be the one who has already received. You may feel unworthy, you may feel small, but those are just garments, costumes, worn by the self that forgot its origin. Strip them off, stand bare before the truth and say, I am. Say it with reverence. Say it with finality. And let everything unlike that truth fall away. When you live from the end, you collapse time. What should have taken years takes months. What should have taken months takes weeks. What should have taken weeks appears now. Because you are not waiting for the future, you are claiming it in the present. The outer will catch up, it must. For it is compelled by your assumption. There is no such thing as false imagination. There is only misused imagination. You are always imagining, whether consciously or unconsciously. So choose to imagine deliberately. Imagine lovingly. Imagine boldly. Do not limit yourself by facts. Facts are only frozen states of consciousness. And you are not a prisoner to any fact. You are the redeemer of facts. You are the transformer of states. When you see yourself as the one who already is what you once desired to be, something shifts. Your tone changes. Your posture changes. Your speech changes. You no longer ask, you give thanks. You no longer wait. You walk in the knowing, and the world responds, not because it is kind, but because it must. Doubt may rise, let it come, and then let it go. It has no root in the new state. You are not here to resist doubt. You are here to ignore it. Persist in your assumption. Keep returning to the inner vision. When the world says no, go deeper within. When the door seems closed, walk through it. In imagination, the outer door will swing open. You have walked long enough in sleep, long enough in compromise, long enough in borrowed names and second-hand dreams. Now is the time to remember. Not next year, not when circumstances are better. Now, this is the appointed hour. This is the moment you claim your power, not because you earned it, but because it is yours by nature. Do not be afraid to choose greatness. Do not apologize for your vision. The world may not understand it, but it will witness it. You do not need to convince others, you only need to assume the end. When you dwell in the state draws all things unto itself. People, resources, ideas, timing, they gather around the one who knows. And you know. Deep within you, you always knew. You knew you were born for more. You knew you were not made to repeat patterns, to struggle, to shrink. You knew you were here to rise, to shine, to speak worlds into being. So speak, assume, walk. You are not becoming, you are revealing. Even now, as you hear these words, you are being stirred. Something ancient, something sacred is rising within. Let it rise. Do not silence it with reason. Do not bury it beneath old stories. Let it rise until it consumes the old self and reveals the truth, that you are the one you've been waiting for. Every time you imagine, you plant a seed. Do not dig it up with doubt. Water it with faith. Cultivate it with feeling. Rest in the knowing that what you've imagined must come to pass, for it lives within you. And what lives within you cannot be denied unless you deny it. So lift your inner eyes. See yourself as you were always meant to be. Not small, not average, but divine. You are not here to make a living. You are here to make a life that reflects your highest self, your grandest vision, your deepest knowing. You are not the echo, you are the voice. You are not the effect, you are the cause. Stand tall in your mind. Claim your destiny in silence. Dwell in the invisible realm where your word is law and your belief is form. The world may not see it yet, but you are not waiting to be seen. You are knowing. You are assuming. You are being. And from that being, everything flows. There is no limit placed upon you except the one you continue to accept. The moment you revoke your agreement with limitation, you open the floodgates of your own infinite nature. You may have spent years trying to work harder, be better, fix things outside of you, but nothing changes permanently out there until you shift within. All external change is rooted in internal movement. When you finally understand that the outer is not cause but reflection, you stop trying to fix the mirror and instead change your face. Your inner conversations are the blueprint of your world. Every silent dialogue, every unseen assumption, every feeling you carry, these are not harmless habits, these are creative acts. You may not speak them aloud, but the universe hears. The world does not respond to your words, it responds to your state. and your state is shaped by what you accept as true about yourself. Do not rise while clinging to an identity built from fear. You cannot experience abundance while secretly believing you are undeserving. You cannot receive love while imagining yourself unwanted. The law does not judge, it reflects. It does not consider your potential, your effort, your dreams. It reflects your inner being, what you are conscious of being. And here is your freedom. You can change that state at any moment. There is no delay in consciousness. The only delay is your unwillingness to let go of the old. But even this hesitation is a state, and you can choose again. You are never stuck. You are never at the mercy of the past. The moment you shift your focus, your reality begins to reform. You're not waiting for permission, you're not waiting for timing, you're not waiting for support. Those are illusions that keep you bound to lesser versions of yourself. The truth is, you are waiting for your own conviction, your own yes to the vision within. And the moment you say yes, the whole universe conspires to fulfill it, waking in it meditation. And usually there are things that ask for your attention. One of the greatest subjective truths of the world is, do not ask whether you are ready. You are born with the kingdom within you. It is not a distant reward. It is not earned by effort. You reveal through recognition. You do not climb to it. You have done enough doubting, enough delaying, enough reasoning. Now is the time to know, not with logic, but with inner certainty. The kind of knowing that does not need proof because it feels like truth. That quiet, immovable sense that says, I am what I choose to be now. This is the knowing that moves mountains, parts seas, breaks cycles. This is the knowing that rewrites destinies. And yes, you may falter. You may find yourself tempted to look at the facts, to measure the distance between your vision and your current life. But remember, facts are not final. They are projections of the past. They are echoes of a former state. You are not here to react to them. You are here to replace them. The moment you assume your desire fulfilled, you enter a new timeline, and everything on that path already exists in potential. You do not need to make it happen. You only need to remain in the state. This is not a frantic race. This is a stillness, a quiet confidence, a steady holding. And as you hold, the outer world is compelled to reflect the inner image. You have looked outward long enough. You have waited on signs, hoped for change, searched for answers, but the answer has always been the same. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and dwell in it. Return to it when you drift. Persist when you doubt. Forgive yourself when you fall, and keep choosing again. You are not what happens to you. You are not the patterns you inherited. You are not your bank account, your diagnosis, your history, or your failures. You are awareness. You are the one who observes, decides, assumes, and becomes. And what you choose to become is not bound by what has been. Do not confuse your current reality with your final truth. The scene you are living today is the residue of thoughts you entertained yesterday. If you do not like it, you need not fight it. Simply change the script. Begin again from within, create a new scene in imagination, and trust that what you imagined with feeling is already planted. You may think, I've imagined before and nothing happened. But imagination is not a one-time act. It is a dwelling place. You must live there until it hardens into fact. It is not enough to visit the state occasionally. You must inhabit it. And to inhabit it, you must feel it real. You must taste the joy of it, the peace of it, the naturalness of it, until it becomes more real than what you see with your eyes. The old world may scream for your attention. It may shout your name in the voice of your old self, but you must ignore it. Not with resentment, but with indifference. Not because it is evil, but because it is no longer you. The new man has no need to fight the old. He simply walks in his new identity, and the old fades away. There is no power greater than assumption. It is not wishful thinking. It is the seed of reality. You are not commanding the world by force, you are reshaping it by being. If you want more, be more, not in effort, but in consciousness. The outer will follow. It always does. This is the great secret. What you feel yourself to be creates your world. You are not becoming, you are choosing. You are not reaching, you are allowing. Every act of imagination is an act of creation, and every creation begins with I am. If you say, I am successful, and believe it, the world cannot deny you. If you say, I am loved, and dwell in that feeling, love must appear. If you say, I am free, and feel it real, the prison dissolves. You may not see the how, but you are not called to see the how. You are called to know the end. Your job is not to manipulate reality. Your job is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and rest, not passively but confidently. You rest in the inner knowing that what you are being is already unfolding, and because you know this, you can walk in peace. You can be unmoved by appearances. You can stay faithful to the unseen. Faith is not blind. Faith is vision. Faith is seeing with the inner eye, hearing with the inner ear, feeling with the inner self. It is knowing beyond logic, believing beyond reason. And it is always rewarded, not by a distant power, but by your own being. So rise. You are not a space that matches your vision. Not someday. Now you are not on a journey to find your power. You are the power. You are the dreamer, the speaker, the chooser. And the world is clay in your hands. Dwell in the end. Saturate yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Refuse to entertain states that no longer serve you, and do it all in silence. The world does not need your explanation. It will see the fruit, it will marvel, and you will smile, not in pride, but in quiet knowing. You will know that you did not change the world by force, by chance, or by struggle. You changed it by daring to become. You woke up to the truth of your being, and the world had no choice but to follow. And even as you walk through the shadow of old conditions, do not flinch. Do not pause to consult the senses, for they only report what you once believed. They do not reveal the truth of what is becoming. Let the world be what it was, while you remain faithful to what is, your inner assumption. The outer world is slow to catch up only when your inner conviction is weak. Strengthen it. Water it. Nourish it with silence, with gratitude, with unwavering persistence. You do not need more tools. You do not need more books, more methods, more steps. You need only the willingness to believe in yourself as the source. There is no secret outside of you. The treasure you seek is already planted deep within your consciousness, waiting only for recognition. And once you recognize it, the outer shifts to reflect it. You may say, but I do not feel powerful. That is only a feeling, nothing more. And feelings too are shaped by assumption. Assume you are powerful and the feeling will follow. Act as though it were true. Let your imagination carry you into the scene of your ideal. Let your inner speech echo the reality you've claimed. Walk as if it were already accomplished. You will notice how the world slowly bends toward your conviction, not because you forced it, but because you became it. This is not magic. This is law. It has always been working whether you knew it or not. The life you now live is not a random series of events. It is the outpicturing of your inner states. And when you truly understand this, you stop trying to fix effects and begin creating causes. You begin moving with intention. You begin speaking with authority. You cannot expect a new life while remaining loyal to the identity that created the old one. You must die to who you were. You must shed the beliefs that kept you small. You must be ruthless with the story you tell yourself. And that story begins with I am. Watch what follows those words. That is the blueprint of your life. If you say I am stuck, you remain. If you say I am overwhelmed, you will find more to burden you. But if you say I am free, the shackles begin to fall. If you say I am chosen, doors appear where there were once walls. You do not need to know how it will happen. You need only to remain loyal to the state. Your world moves through states, not steps. And the moment you declare a thing real within, you plant the seed of its manifestation. Do not check the soil every hour to see if it has sprouted. Trust the unseen process. Persist without desperation. Remain without worry. Let the outer catch up while you continue to dwell in your inner kingdom. No man can take from you what you assume to be yours. No condition can deny you when you are living from the fulfilled desire. The only obstacle is your own wavering. The only enemy is your forgetfulness. And both can be overcome by simple, quiet repetition, returning again and again to the end, to the scene, to the feeling of already being the one you have chosen to be. There is nothing more sacred than your own imagination. It is the workshop of the divine. It is the womb of worlds. And you, not circumstances, not time, not effort, you are the one who creates within it. If you see yourself as blessed, the world will bless you. If you see yourself as whole, your life will harmonize. If you see yourself as rising, the way will be made. Even if today your world contradicts your inner vision, persist. The contradiction is a test of your loyalty to the unseen. Do not collapse back into the old state. Remain where you have planted your feet. Speak, think, feel from the place of your fulfilled desire. Let it become so natural to you that you no longer wonder when it will arrive. You know it already has. What of others? What if they doubt you, mock you, leave you behind? Let them. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to create. And the one who creates does not seek permission. He does not explain. He moves quietly in certainty, and his world rearranges without noise. The new self never begs to be seen. It simply is, and therefore it becomes visible. Let your reactions reveal where you truly dwell. If you are triggered by the world, you are still subject to it. But if you can remain unmoved, knowing that all is being reshaped according to your inner image, then you have truly awakened. The one who does not react has remembered that he is the cause, not the consequence. You do not climb your way to a new reality. You assume it. You enter it in imagination and you make your home there. You move through your day with the inner atmosphere of already having, already being, already fulfilled. And from this holy dwelling place, all things are added unto you. There is no virtue in struggle. There is no righteousness in suffering. You are not here to be tested by lack or pain. You are here to awaken. And suffering often comes not because life is cruel, but because you have forgotten your place. You have accepted what was never yours to carry. But even now, you can lay it down. Even now, you can speak a new name over yourself. Even now, you can rise. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait until the perfect moment. That moment is now. The moment you say, I am, and mean it, the moment you declare yourself to be the thing you desire, all of life begins to echo that decision. Invisible hands begin to move. Unseen threads begin to weave together the bridge of incidents that will carry you from here to there. But you must remain. The wavering soul delays its blessing. The double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So choose. Choose boldly. Choose joyfully. Choose as if you could not fail, because you cannot. not when your assumption is pure, not when your conviction is whole. Every time you return to your chosen state, you reinforce the pattern, you reshape your identity. You take one more step away from the illusion of helplessness and one step closer to the truth of divine authorship. And you will find in time that the outer must obey, not because you demanded it, but because you became it. And you did not become it by chance. You became it by waking up. You rose from the sleep of doubt. You stood from the grave of mediocrity. You cast off the robes of fear and said, "No more, I am." And in that moment, your world began to change. So now, stand in the fullness of your being and refuse to shrink again. You were not born to live in the shadow of others' expectations or under the weight of inherited fear. You were born to command, to choose, to awaken, and to create. The world you desire is not somewhere far off. It is within you, waiting for your recognition. Do not wait for signs, become the sign. Do not seek the light, be the light. And from this moment forward, walk not as one hoping for change, but as one who knows that change begins and ends within. You were not born to be average. You were born to remember that you are the dreamer and the dream made flesh. So wake up and claim your power.